much for joining me again today. So it's very bright here, so I'm kind of hiding in a like tree cave right now, so hopefully you can see me okay. First of all, I just want to say my channel is going to be changing in appearance somewhat moving forward. It did become very obvious to me that the energy updates, it really wasn't working to have the title. It felt very much like it was almost like a barrier blocking people from getting to the energy update. So I did make the conscious decision moving forward to not use the titles for the energy updates. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I now won't be using the titles for any of my videos moving forward. It feels very much that the universe is stripping me right back, just to go back to the original format, which is just me and perhaps a little bit of dodgy sound, dodgy lighting. You know, it is what it is. It just feels like the channel was going off in a direction that at the time it felt okay, and I learnt a lot through that process. But as I am stripping back and going really raw and real, it just doesn't feel right anymore. And like I said, due to unforeseen circumstances, even though I had intended to use the titles for other things in the channel, that has been taken away as well. So I really trust the universe here. I trust the universe is putting me in the right direction, and I will still continue to do the videos. It will just be on this old phone that my mum's given me. So this video today is requested from somebody that I do readings for quite regularly, who really wanted me to do a video on why so many are seeking themselves in others, and then obviously it's causing toxic relationships. So to begin with, it very much feels to me that it comes back to this sense of conditioning where we're made to believe that we are not enough, and also that perhaps it's not right for us to fill up our own cup and to be of a sense of self-importance. This is a video that I'm going to be doing later on at some point as well, really explaining about self-importance and ego self-importance, because they're two completely different things. To be of self-importance is very, very healthy, to make sure that we are filling our cup up, to make sure that we are not going in certain directions that are going to put our well-being in harm. It is important that we are, you know, in touch with how important our life is. This really, I feel, is the root cause, because so many have really lost sight of the importance of life, of our own life individually. We really lose sight of everything else. It sort of snowballs and then has an impact on everything else as well. So to seek ourselves in others, this could be that maybe you've got something that you want to heal within yourself. On a subconscious level, you're very aware that there's something within you that needs to be healed, and you will see that in somebody else. You will see that same hurt, that same pattern, or whatever it is within that other person. Very often this is why karmic relationships will take place, because you are effectively trying to learn your lessons through another, and also perhaps trying to heal that other person as well, to try and heal yourself. So obviously it doesn't work, and very often if we are trying to do the healing for somebody else without really their consent, they're going to be pushing us away. They're not going to be wanting to accept our help, and then we're going to be feeling rejected, and then it brings forward a whole host of other reasons after that. I do feel like this is the root cause of many toxic relationships, especially if you have got this healing quality or this empathic quality. So it's very important for me, it feels like, and definitely in my teaching, is to make sure that we all own our own stuff, that we all are very conscious of where we're at, and that we are not trying to do the work for others, which is something that I did do in the past. It very much was part of one of my relationship patterns, where I was trying to do the healing for others. As soon as I realised, that was what was happening, and started to heal myself, the relationships did get a lot healthier moving forward. So we need to understand that everything we need is within us, that everything we seek outside of us is actually found within us. So if we see somebody and we think they're, very, very loving, or, very successful, or whatever it is, and trying to compare ourselves with that other person, we're really losing sight that we have got that love within ourselves, that we have got that success within ourselves, that we have got that potential within ourselves as well. So again, that's another reason we may be seeking ourselves in others, because we feel like we're lacking in some way, we feel like we're not enough in some way, and that other person is either going to give us what we feel we are lacking, or that they have something that we feel that we don't have and that is unobtainable to us. Also, it could be because there's a lot of programs running, that perhaps we feel like we have to be married, that we have to have kids, that we have to have whatever it is. So then we'll have this biological clock ticking, and we put ourselves under an enormous amount of pressure, feeling like we have to have a certain thing within a certain time. So therefore we may jump into a relationship with somebody else that isn't necessarily right for us, because we feel like time isn't on our side. So again, that's really trying to get something from another, from a relationship with another, to fill our void up in a way. Once we strip all of that back and realise that they are just programs running, we take away that pressure, we take away that stress, and we really then start living to our true full potential. So also, I find by letting go of distractions of who we really are, and also how we really feel as well, because again, we may be seeing something within another, like they could be more open about how they feel, they could be more open about what is going on with them, and we are drawn to that because we feel by being close to that person it's going to somehow heal us, or we don't have to address our feelings because that other person is addressing it. So what we're basically doing is we're offloading on that person, so that they're basically taking our feelings that we're not addressing on their own back, and dealing with that for themselves as well. Also, like we said, it's very important to make sure that you are owning it all, because once you start owning it all, you will start healing it all. That really is the key, and it definitely worked for me. As soon as I started delving in deeper, as soon as I was brave enough to delve deeper into those things that perhaps I hadn't wanted to in the past, they started healing, and you just feel so much lighter and so much freer as well. What we really need to be doing moving forward, all of us, before we even think about getting into especially a romantic relationship, is doing a lot of addressing, really getting clear on where we are, what our patterns are, what our issues are, what our triggers are, and what we like and what we don't like, what our needs are. It's very important that we all are very clear in what kind of partner works for us, or what kind of relationship works for us, what kind of people we want in our life. Again, once we are more centered, once we are more full of ourselves, full of self-importance, we're not chasing after others for gratification or for gain. We are doing it for very pure reasons, because we enjoy spending time with that person, not because we see something either consciously or unconsciously in them that we feel is going to help us. So we need to be very conscious in our family relationships. So, you know, our dynamics perhaps with our parents, especially our children as well, because that's another thing that tends to happen, is that the issues from the parents will be passed on to the child, and then that child grows up, and then they have children, and then it's passed on until somebody really wakes up and realizes that they are passing on those patterns, those toxic patterns. It's just like a never-ending cycle. Romantic relationships, like we said, friendships, all of these are very important. We really need to start moving into conscious relationships, really owning where we're at and not projecting onto others, and not trying to make out that it's somebody else's fault as well, and also not having somebody else make out that it's our fault too, if it's something that they really need to own. So this does mean taking full responsibility for our own issues and our own responses and our own actions, and becoming a lot more aware of these old programs running. I do feel like romantically seeking ourselves in others is a program, especially I see it a lot to do with twin flames, where people are really chasing on the tail of the idea of twin flames, and really holding on to quite toxic situations because they feel that is their twin flame. Although I do believe that there is truth in the twin flame dynamic, I also feel like with many things there is a toxic program running to do with twin flames as well, and it is constantly leaving people in a state of lack, a state of confusion, and where they are staying in relationships that are just not right for them, or holding on to something that's just not right for them as well. So moving forward, we need to really stop seeking to find somebody that is going to make us happy, and believe that we are enough, that just as we are right now is enough. Everything that we are chasing in somebody else, believing that we don't have that quality, it's not true, it's a lie, it's falsehood. So we need to come back into ourselves, fill up our cup, boost our confidence, boost our self-belief, and really stand tall in who we are, and then we're going to attract much better opportunities, much better relationships, and much better situations and life experiences moving forward. We also need to enjoy what we have in our life right now as well. There's always something to be thankful for. There's always something, no matter how small that grain is in each day, there's always something to be thankful for. And appreciate life as it is right now, and really come into the present as well. A lot of this seeking, it is because we're wanting to be somewhere else. We're wanting something else. We're always chasing, and as soon as we come back and really again come back into the now, a lot more, we stop that chasing, we stop that seeking, and really appreciate life for how it is right now. So we really need to live life to the fullest as it is now. That is the key here, and not wait for this, not wait for somebody else to give us something, or make us feel better, or switch something on within us, but to understand that we've got it all within ourselves, that we can do and have and be whatever we want to be. We can stand tall within ourselves. We don't need anybody else for that. So being your best self, that is accessible to you right now in whatever way feels right for you. And once you start stepping into your best self, you will attract better things for you. There's not going to be this seeking. You start becoming the magnet and start being able to draw things in towards you that you want. That's definitely something that is happening for me a lot more. I was drawing in some very toxic situations and toxic characters for a long time, and it really was because not necessarily that I was seeking myself in others. Obviously in romantic relationships, like I said, there was this sort of wounded healer dynamic going on, but just wanting to be there for others really was a case of the door is open for all, and I'm starting to realise that, you know, that it's not really good for me anymore. I need to really appreciate my energy and where I'm giving my energy out and what kind of energy is coming back to me as well. And the more I appreciate myself and the more I fill myself up with self importance, the more that's really been highlighted. So focus on you taking responsibility for your own life, and I feel like the rest is just going to naturally fall into place. You know, it's when you realise how amazing you are as a person, and that nobody can make you or improve you. You know, you do that for yourself. Nobody's going to do that for you. Certain people are going to obviously highlight your good qualities and also perhaps highlight your shadow side as well. So that's why it is really important to own your own stuff and to not project onto others. True fulfillment and happiness, it always comes from a place within. You know, it's never found without, you know, outside of ourselves. It's always found within. Once we tap into that true happiness, again, it's like a magnet, and we start drawing in people that are full, you know, that they're full of themselves, they're full of their own self-importance, they're full of their own love, they're not seeking, they realise that they are their own person, that they're very unique, they're celebrating their uniqueness, they're celebrating who they are, and they're not trying to take anything, but they're actually giving. So rather than, you know, somebody constantly filling up the cup of another and the other person feeling empty, or vice versa, this is a very healthy dynamic where you're both filling each other's cup up. You know, it's very equal, it's very balanced. So I feel like we're going through a little bit of a substantial living epidemic in consciousness, and that's really what we're coming out of. We're all healing that. The collective is very much going through this healing right now. So as we come back into ourselves a lot more, as we heal these old toxic dynamics and patterns and such like, and really find out who we are at a core level, like we said, this seeking is really going away, and we realize that, you know, we're living a very good life. You know, we've got everything that we do actually need there around us. We have it all, we've already got it all. We just need to start believing that it is so, and stop seeking and striving and chasing, but really come back into this present moment in time and realize that everything we need we already have. And there's nothing wrong with wanting better. You know, there's nothing wrong with constantly improving on yourself, but when you are constantly seeking yourself within another, you're abandoning yourself. You are not being there for yourself, you're not nourishing yourself, you're not nurturing yourself, and you're not taking care of yourself the way that you really need to take care of yourself. So I hope that has helped you in some way. I'm going to leave that with you today. If you would like to support me and my channel, then, you know, feel free to either, you know, follow me on Patreon, come and join me on Patreon, because I've got loads planned, loads in store for the Patreon site, so please support me on that. You could leave a donation on my PayPal, maybe check out my Etsy. I'm going to be going through a little bit of a change of how I do my coaching and healing and readings moving forward as well. Everything's standing as it is right now, but I'm just going to have a little bit of a rethink and just find a way that I feel is going to work for me as much as others. Also, the reason why I am doing these videos and why I'm so passionate about doing so many of these videos is because I really want to help as many people as I possibly can. You know, that is a great passion of mine, of passing on the things that I've learned, you know, to others, because I've been through quite a lot. You know, I've gained a lot of wisdom. I remember a while ago somebody saying that to be shy is to be selfish, and I didn't really fully understand it at the time. The more I'm coming out of my shell and sharing a lot more of myself with others, I'm really starting to understand what that means, because I've got so much to offer the world. Most likely you are the same, but if you're hiding yourself, then the world's not getting to see you and appreciate you and celebrate your life in the way that you know your life really truly deserves to be celebrated. So, like I said, I hope that has helped you. I'm going to leave that with you today. I'm sending you all my love. I'm wishing you all the very, very best, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Goodbye for now.